Okay, this is happynaturalhorse.com. What I'm doing here is helping you help your horse be healthy and sound, okay, through happynaturalhorse.com. I'm trying to get this thing up so that, there we go. So this one says, how can I get my picky eater sport horse to eat enough calories? Okay. Her horse is hard keeping, thoroughbred, does low level eventing. Pasture in the summer helps, but the pasture is gone for winter. He's also won't eat supplement. He shifts through or won't eat any of his grain. Grain's really bad for horses anyway. You need Stanley hay pellet, Timothy. They're the best pellets that you can buy on the market in the United States today. Highly digestible, low protein, which horses don't need a lot of protein, and it only has 36% enzyme when they cook the pellets and make the pellets, instead of making it 100% killing the enzymes, it's at 36%, which isn't bad. So you're getting 60% enzymes in the Stanley hay pellets. So she wants to know how to get calories. And who knows, this is called the Horse Magazine. I don't know who's answering. To answer the question, it's necessary to first visit why the horse is a picky eater. Most likely because he has an ulcer. And if he doesn't have a good appetite, you know, you need to get your your veterinarian out or get his teeth loaded. Then you had to do blood work, which I agree with, you know, especially if there's something going on with the kidneys or the liver. But it's most likely it's the brain. Or he could have an ulcer, which is number one theory of mine. Yes, I would say. I'm not a vet. I'm not a nutritionist or anything like that. I'm a person with common sense, okay? Written many books, and I've helped so many other horses. And I did take courses in nutrition, equine nutrition, mostly equine natural nutrition. So trial and error, you know, that costs a lot of money, all this trial and error. I know somebody that goes through, I have been through so many people where they had this grain, that grain, this grain, that grain, you know, so many grains. And that costs a lot of money. You know, why don't you feed your horse like he's designed to eat? Okay. So, so they're thinking about if it's social, heresy that might be affecting his appetite, like other aggressive horses, or him missing another horse. Usually horses are, you know, they want to eat. You feed them a good food, they want to eat. Okay, so then they go on to talk about the body weight and what it, you know, gets in. And everybody in the world has an opinion on that. Okay, so they're like, how to do a high-fat feeds, and they have you feed like the worst stuff in the freaking world. Rice bran. I mean, it's like highly pesticided, and it's very acidic, and it throws off the calcium. Okay, so corn oil? Hell no. Horse doesn't have a gallbladder, okay? It does not have a gallbladder, and it blocks the corn oil, any kind of oil, blocks the vitamin of A, K, and D. I think, yeah, D. A, K, and D. So, now, when the horse needs D, the sun is going to block that, and it needs K for the blood. So, you'll see at the track, they don't feed a whole lot of beet pulp corn oil, because they notice their horses bleed more. Take them off the corn oil, they don't bleed. And I have a video on that, okay? So, so most companies, they say nutritional companies, they have supplements for neatly packaged, carefully formulated, and don't require, so they're talking about the Smart Pack, which, hey, number one, Smart Pack does have a lot of good stuff in it, but you don't know where their minerals are coming from. I know where my minerals are coming from. Okay, and so she really doesn't give a concrete answer. So, you know, because vets really, they take 100 hours of nutrition. That's it. And basically every vet that I've talked to, that I've worked with, they've always said to feed a horse like he's designed to eat. Forage, you know, forage. Is that what they eat? Because that's what they eat, okay? So let me see if I move this over, okay? So this is my nutritional program, and a lot of people have come to my site to see it, and they've either pooped it, or they love it, or they, you know, don't understand. And I have a video up here that explains it. The only thing I would change in this video which I need to make a new one, is no molasses in the apple cider vinegar. But you don't really need molasses. But if you do get the molasses, you have to get it out of the grocery store and make sure it's organic. And this is a horse that was fed corn oil and about 13 pounds of grain a day. I think that's what she said, 13 pounds of grain a day. Beet pulp, corn oil, hay. And this is what he looked like. You see how dull his coat was. And then this is 2 weeks later on the Big Sky and the Stanley Timothy hay pellets. That's it. Took them straight off grain that night when we delivered her. It was a mare. And boom, that's 2 weeks later. That's not a month later. That's 2 weeks later, baby. Okay? Big difference. Just on the Big Sky minerals. And why are the minerals are so good? Because they're made out of the beds of the wild horses. They have 3 clays in them. They have all kinds of naturally mined minerals, which is the naturally mined calcium and magnesium and the phosphorus that goes into it. They all work synergistically together, and the formula comes from the beds where the wild horses get their minerals. And they're 100%, 100% not organic, but they're 100% minerals. I mean, they're not synthetic, okay? So my program, what I would tell this lady is give 1 to 3 cups of hay pellets. I only give 2 cups of hay pellet, and I'm in the wintertime. My horses look fantastic. They have hay 24/7. It's not the best hay, but they have hay 24/7. Okay, and I'll add water to it, and Stanley does have you do that just in case you have choke. And by the way, if you want to know what choke is about, ask me, and I will tell you. Okay, and this is totally up to you and your horse. I find that some 2 to 3-year-old horses like to eat it dry, because when you start to chew on it, the saliva comes down. It makes it nice and moist. But for older horses that people have not had their teeth done or whatever, or given a lot of ivermectin, which inhibits the nervous system, which taxes the thyroid, that kills the nerves. And so the horse may choke because he doesn't have the nerves. So anyways, so you might want to wet it down, okay? But 1 to 2, 3 cups a day, twice a day. It swells. Very swells. It swells up. It's Timothy. It's straight Timothy. And then I pour half a cup of apple cider vinegar mixed with water and my High Track and the Mini-Sign and sometimes Amino Plus. And then I shake it up in a gallon jug and I give him a 1/4 cup. Okay, so it's up to you. You can add black oil sunflower seeds, and if you don't want to do the Timothy hay pellets, then you need to do half a cup of steam flake barley, cracked corn, or oats. If your horse is recovering from an illness or injury, a cup of Big Sky minerals for free choice daily for until like 2 weeks. Now, on top of the Stanley hay pellets, then I put the Big Sky minerals. Yeah, 2 ounces of Big Sky minerals. You can do to 2 to 4, it says on the bag. It depends on your horse. You just have to look at your horse, okay? Big Sky minerals are balanced and formulated profile with a mixture of element of clay beds, says Andy Miller, owner and manufacturer of Big Sky Minerals. And you can shop there. Big Sky will improve 90% of health issues, and it does. And of course, I get people all the time that are on Big Sky Minerals, and then they have an issue. And then, you know, it's like, you know, I have to be a detective, and I have to say, look, what are you feeding this horse? Because you're not feeding it my program. It would not have this problem. And lo and behold, they're always adding something else, or they're giving it a drug that the horse really doesn't need. So this is a SoundCloud of Andy Miller, but it's cut off, so I'm going to change that. But you can listen to it there on my site, happynaturalhorse.com. It has also a small probiotic and enzyme-producing formula that helps balance the gut so the horse can digest anything that you put in it, including the sugars from the grass hay that's coming out in the spring, okay? And what that does is the magnesium in there balances the sugar, and then you don't see any laminitis. Now, my mare, I had a mare, no lie, was on the most expensive mineral on the world, and I fed it to her for 8 years, and she started, the last 3 years, she started having laminitis in the spring. She never did before. So, when I found Big Sky Minerals, I think she lived another 2 to 3 years. She lost all her laminitis, her neck and her dimples and her butt. and I just fed her straight Timothy hay pellets with the Big Sky Minerals. She never found her laminitis again after that. Okay, this is powerful stuff here. You know, for the cost of $50 plus $12 shipping and handling. I mean, really, he hasn't even raised the price of shipping and handling, and they've already raised it. It's $13.50 now, baby, or $14.50. It's more expensive now, okay, to ship because the post office went up, and he hasn't even changed that. So you're really getting a good deal. Now, for horses that are in work, people say, oh, they need more calories, they need this, they need that, well, whatever. You know, I had horses in training. My daughter did about a quarter mile a day with them, sometimes a half. Most of the time it was a quarter mile. And they got fed twice a day, just the Stanley hay pellets, the Big Sky Minerals, and sometimes I'd throw in the sunflower seeds. But usually the sunflower seeds give them the calories they need. Chia seeds are best than the flax seeds. Flaxseed is also inhibits the thyroid, which will inhibit the pituitary gland, and that will affect the digestion. And people that have listened to me on this program still give flaxseed. And guess what? Once a year, a couple times a year, the horse colics because it does disrupt the digestive system. The flax seeds do. The chias don't. Chia is high in magnesium and it's a good source of omega-3s. It's great stuff. You can feed medium, it says a cup of cracked corn if he's in work, so you could split that up half and half. It's not going to kill you to have cracked corn. I know it's GMO, but it's not going to kill you because as long as you give the Big Sky Minerals, it's going to take the mold out of there. Okay, and then you have steam flake barley or crimped barley. Never give whole barley. And then clean whole oats. As far as I know, they're not GMO yet. Barley might be GMO, but I know whole oats from Canada are not GMO. And most oats do come from Canada. But this is, you know, if you're working your horse, and then I would mix all this up with Stanley Timothy hay pellets. Okay? That's what I would do. And then just do the, now you can add the Oasis to that without, you know, and then I would pre-choice the Big Sky Minerals. Okay? Now the Oasis, what that does is it activates the good bacteria in the small intestine. And for some reason, it helps with weight gain. You only need one bag of it per horse because once they're activated, they usually stay activated. Keep your horse out as much as you can, 24/7. Try not to lock him up, but if you do, make sure he's got hay 24/7 or pasture. Okay. And then here's one of the thoroughbreds that we did a quarter mile. You can see how they demolished it. Here's another lady that talks about, she was amazed about the Big Sky and how the hoofs. I mean, she had, I know she's a good friend of mine, but over the years of knowing her beforehand, she had trouble with her horse's feet. After she was on the Big Sky, she did not. So, I haven't even seen this yet. I don't even know if it's still on there. And then you have the Big Sky results with the cellulitis and equine colic prevention with the high track. Basically, guys, you got the weather going up and down. With colic, you have to give, if you're not going to give the high track, you have to give the apple cider vinegar, especially now. Just dilute it half and half with water if you're going to give it, because it's going to save your horse's life. And then this has the ingredients in it. Yes, there's meat. I tell you what, this last batch of Big Sky Minerals, I think he forgot to put the wheat middlings in it because it's so much heavier. It is so much heavier. And I don't even see any wheat millings in it. So he might have taken it out because everybody's complaining about it. This is salt. He does have a little bit of salt in it, okay? Not much, but just a little bit. And then what I wanted to look for, it's got an amino complex chloride. That amino acid complex. Let me see if there's another amino acid complex. And then another amino acid complex. So it has this, and what I found out this week from my mentor, Dr. Regan Golub, is that amino acid complex, it gets rid of glucosamate, which is Roundup. It actually detoxes it out of the body. Isn't that cool? So I didn't even know that. And it's in the Big Sky. You guys, it's in the Big Sky. So, you know, this is a no-brainer, and it's so cost effective. So cost effective. So you might want to get the book, Natural Equine Remedies, and check it out. Natural Equine Remedies. You get the free colic book, how to prevent colic, and if you have colic. And then this shows you where the pain points are. There's the book. This is before and after the pain points. And there's my Natural Equine Remedies book, which I'm rehabbing right now. But you can still get it. Amazon, Kindle. I wouldn't get it on Kindle because it's too long, but it's up to you. Okay? Hey, share this video if it's helped you in any way, and subscribe to my channel and leave a comment. Bye.